Philip K. Dick is one of the great literary writers of the 20th century, undoubtedly. Folio has published The Man in the High Castle, A Scanner Darkly, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and Ubik is really the next of his great novels. Ubik deals with time slipping away and an invention which is designed to resolve that, and it turns itself from a science fiction book into a horror book halfway through. It's one of, I think, the best designed books in Folio's 70 years. The slipcase is just sensationally good, and I absolutely love the binding.
Ta-da!
Nice.
Had you read Philip K. Dick before?
Yeah, well, we knew of his work, obviously, but because the films are so prominent. But this is one book that, strangely enough, neither Richard or I have read.
I actually really enjoyed it. It's almost my favourite of his novels, I think.
Yeah. You start to think that it's making sense, and then it just completely shifts somewhere else. I wanted the images to have a sort of glitchy and dreamlike quality to them, because a lot of the text isn't that clear all of the time. You're not totally sure what's happening always. There was one passage with multiple options of a future time. It really triggered something for me. So there's one image in the book which is made up of a hexagonal pattern. And so you have one character right in the centre, and he's facing his future, and it triggers that sort of smile in the mind moment, and you get it.
How did you find working with Folio and working with the kind of the strange constraints that you have with things like estates having to have estate approval?
The fact that the estate needed to approve things just made it even more exciting for us. When the invitation came in, it was kind of a no-brainer. It's really nice to know that you're making such a tactile object that people are going to hopefully enjoy in their hands, actually physically holding something beautiful.
One of the most exciting things about picking up a copy of your illustrated edition is that secret line within the slipcase. How did you come up with that idea in the first place? I know that Folio hasn't done anything like that in 70 years.
We thought that spot would be the perfect area to hide a little message. It might be something you discover like a year after owning the book. It might not be something that you see straight away, and it feels personal to you because you've discovered it. It's sort of our little message at the end for you.
Ubik marks an end of the main phase of Philip K. Dick's career. Its black comedy and Joe Chipp's stubborn persistence in the face of universal commodification and its resulting existential dissolution is the summa, the final statement in Dick's lifelong attempt to wrest some kind of meaning out of American post-war capitalism. It couldn't be done. This is why the final conundrum of Ubik's plot can't be solved. This is clearly a deliberate move on Dick's part and not just a final twist in O. Henry style. It's a Gordian knot, tying us all together into the same catastrophe. After this book, he had to go mystic, and he did.